Is Donald Trump pushing for a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah, but Benjamin Netanyahu remains unwilling to step back? As Washington attempts to broker three-way talks, is the Israeli military continuing its offensive across Lebanon regardless of diplomatic efforts? With key infrastructure reportedly hit, has Israel's latest strike effectively isolated parts of southern Lebanon from the rest of the country? As drones and missiles intensify over Lebanese territory, is Hezbollah now escalating its response with sustained firepower? Is the Lebanese government stepping away from peace efforts, as Beirut denies any talks despite Trump's claims of progress? And with Hezbollah openly rejecting negotiations, is Lebanon's political stance beginning to shift under mounting pressure? Despite renewed diplomatic efforts led by US President Donald Trump to ease tensions between Israel and Lebanon, Israel appears to be continuing its military operations. The Israel Defense Forces have released new footage showing a drone strike targeting what they described as Hezbollah-linked positions in Lebanon. The visuals reportedly show precision strikes carried out against a group identified as Hezbollah operatives in southern Lebanon. Israeli authorities further claimed that these individuals were involved in planning an attack against Israeli forces. In a separate post on X, the IDF stated that multiple Hezbollah fighters were eliminated during recent operations. On April 16, the Israeli military also reported that around 70 alleged targets were struck within a very short time frame. Israeli forces additionally stated that weapons, including rifles and anti-tank systems, were recovered during operations. Lebanon state media reported that Israeli strikes also hit the Kazmir Bridge over the Litani River. According to reports, the attack damaged a key route connecting southern Lebanon with other parts of the country. A Lebanese security official stated that the bridge sustained severe structural damage and is no longer usable. In response, Hezbollah has claimed responsibility for launching rocket attacks targeting military positions in northern Israel. Warning sirens were reportedly activated in the border town of Kiryat Shmona following incoming fire. Reports also suggest that Hezbollah attempted additional missile and drone strikes against Israeli targets. There are also claims that a projectile was launched from Lebanon toward areas near Haifa. Meanwhile, Lebanon's government has reportedly stepped back from any involvement in ongoing ceasefire discussions. Officials in Beirut have denied having any knowledge of potential talks with Israel in the near future, according to an AFP report. The Lebanese government stated that it is not aware of any planned contact or communication with the Israeli side at this stage. This response comes even as reports suggest that Washington is attempting to arrange a three-way conversation involving Israel and Lebanon. According to reports, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio is expected to engage in discussions with Benjamin Netanyahu and Lebanon's president on April 16. However, on April 15, US President Donald Trump had indicated that talks between Israel and Lebanon were already confirmed. The US President said, and I quote, "Trying to get a little breathing room between Israel and Lebanon. It has been a long time since the two leaders have spoken, like 34 years. It will happen tomorrow. Nice. President DJT." End quote. Lebanon's distancing from reported talks comes alongside strong opposition from Hezbollah regarding any engagement with Israel. The Iran-backed group has rejected ceasefire discussions and criticized the Lebanese government's position on the issue. Hezbollah has criticized the ongoing discussions, asserting that the current process benefits opposing interests.
Talks began with a statement, very encouraging statement, Secretary of State Rubio. I was honored to sit around a negotiating table with His Excellency Michelle Issa, United States Ambassador to Lebanon, and to Her Excellency Nada Hamadi, the Lebanese Ambassador to Washington. We are both united in liberating Lebanon from an occupation power dominated by Iran called Hezbollah. Lebanon is under their occupation, and we are suffering from their constant barrages of missiles and terror attacks trying to cross our border. We talked about a number of things, and most importantly, the vision, the long-term vision, where there'll be a clearly delineated border between our countries, and where the only reason we'll need to cross each other's territory will be in business suits to conduct business or in bathing suits to go on vacation. We made it very clear that the security of our civilians is not up for negotiation. That is understood by the government of Joseph Aoun. And I must say, this was a victory for sanity, for responsibility, and for peace. Because the head of Hezbollah warned the government of Lebanon yesterday not to participate in these talks. And the government of Joseph Aoun bravely said no to Hezbollah. And this is the beginning of a very strong and fortified, consistent battle against Hezbollah. They are weakened as they've never been, and together we'll continue to rid the threat of this Iranian proxy, which is so malign and so malignant in the region. Well, I hope we won't have to make a concerted effort, but we certainly don't want the French anywhere near these negotiations. We'd like to keep the French as far away as possible from pretty much everything, but particularly when it comes to peace negotiations. They're not needed. They're not a positive influence, particularly not in Lebanon. Well, first of all, on the first question, it's imperative that there's a complete delinkage between Lebanon and Iran. Iran is the malign influence in the region and around the world, and Hezbollah is their proxy next to Israel. It's like a front operation of Iran against Israel. And now is the opportunity to push them back because they're as weak as they've never been. So there's an imperative to maintain that delinkage. I want to push back on your question. Okay. Israelis don't wake up in the morning and look to fire missiles across the border. The missiles are being fired at our civilians. That will be put a stop to. We will not allow a terror organization to continually fire missiles into our population centers. That has to be understood by anybody asking such a question. The Lebanese understand that.
We are fighting, we are martyred, we kill and are killed, and we defend our land. The civilians who are killed and the children fill our hearts with sorrow and grief. But those resistance fighters who are martyred on the land of the South make us hold our heads high. This is a shameful image of those who made the decision, and it does not represent our people. It represents only a small segment. We call on this authority, if it wants to prove that it reflects the aspirations of the Lebanese people, to accept a popular referendum. We accept a popular referendum on these choices. Much of the Lebanese people, and by majority I mean more than half, support the resistance and are opposed to Israel. I would say that far more than half are opposed to Israel and reject this position. This stance reflects only those responsible for it. It reflects this authority and those who made this decision. As for the people, they continue to hold their heads high. We are against direct negotiations because they carry a political dimension. We have had previous experience with indirect negotiations that did not carry the same political implication. The enemy is the one that benefits. This is a political platform granted to the Israeli occupation at a time when it is killing Lebanese people and committing massacres. The blood that has been shed and continues to be shed on Lebanese soil is, in part, the result of this authority's insistence, obstinacy, and stubbornness in rejecting this course in the face of Iran. What has this authority gained? Let it tell us. Let it be honest with the Lebanese people, and let it say at least some of what the officials state in the white paper.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.